MC little freestyle going on that nice. Then what did there? That was there. Then what's her? You know what I'm saying? That's bang, 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 that's
Check 1 2.
What's good? What's good?
What up, Jay? We got Andres Uribe checking in for our brother Joe K. Soulection Radio Show number 411. Mr. Jared Jackson Takeover. What up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm doing great. Having a good time watching you start off the set. Can you get into a little bit as to what you're playing right now?
For this show, man, when Joe said, he was like, yo, man, you got to do a show. I said, all right, I'm going to try to bring the house vibe for all the house heads. I know a lot of people have been requesting that, excuse me. So that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to be playing quite a bit of deep house, all types of house, though. I just want to touch on the whole spectrum of that part of dance music. I'm going to take you to different countries, different styles, just so you can hear the different influences that people have on it. This one thing that's, really beautiful about Soulection is that, I feel we always play like a wide range of music.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to do in this set. I want to just go all over the place with the house music and, the garage, the US garage, the UKG, the garage. Shout out to the UK homies. I probably said that wrong, but it's all good.
Well, dope. First day of summer for you? You just let the kids go?
Yeah, man. So some people know, but I just ended my 13th year of teaching school.
Amazing.
Public school. I teach 7th grade science, so it's like very, very basic bio for kids.
Yeah.
We just dissected a frog and like sheep eyeball, stuff like that. I taught elementary before, but I really like the older, slightly older kids. They're still young enough where you can still, they're not jaded yet though, so it's pretty cool. So yeah.
I will say that this is going to be a dope conversation.
Okay,
just letting everybody know, I think having this conversation on air is important. This is cool for me to absorb on your end as well. We brothers, so we have these conversations like every other day.
Definitely.
But I think it'll be good for people to really soak in everything else that you do on the side. I think you have a really inspiring story. So for right now, we'll just let you get back to the music and we'll check in a bit.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you. I appreciate everybody for being here with me, and I'm going to have some fun. Hopefully everybody out there listening is enjoying it. And if not, I'm sorry.
Don't be dope. Soulection Radio, Jared Jackson Takeover, number 411. Let's go.
Yes.
Yo, Jared, we're getting into a little bit of conversation. A couple things I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
You mentioned you've been teaching for 13 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It goes all the way back to your pops, right? And to your family. It runs in the blood.
My dad, even my grandmothers. Just education runs in the family. So.
Yeah, and I think it makes you an educator at heart. I've learned so much from you on the turntable side, on the music side of things. I literally learned how to dissect a turntable because of you. Can you kind of talk about, aside from, actually, the music was also passed from your pops as well, right? Like you got Pops MPC at the crib.
Yeah, so
shout out
Anthony
to my dad,
Jackson,
Pops.
and also moms too, because like mom's is super heavy into music. She's all into salsa dancing and stuff like that. So it's something that we all just kind of grew up with around the house. You always heard music playing no matter what.
So can you talk about a little bit about your inspirations aside from things being passed from your parents? Can you talk about your personal inspirations? What has inspired you to kind of?
I always grew up listening to my pops play a lot of I guess the earlier wave of hip hop, like in the 80s and in the 90s. So my dad was listening when I was, riding in the car with my dad. He had stuff like Gangstar playing, you know what I mean? So I grew up on a lot of, I would consider, like real dope music, whether it be hip hop or reggae, jazz. My dad's a huge jazz head. You'd have my mom playing all types of stuff too. So you just kind of, you were forced to like listen to good music in the house.
Yeah, which led to you getting these tools, being the turntable in particular.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that inspiration.
So my dad, shout out to my pops. He was like, he was in the 90s. He had like a rap group with him and his friends, and they had like a band and everything too. I was always mesmerized. He had a DJ, shout out to Top Dollar, man. He would come over and like cut, and I would just watch, like peek my head around the corner and be like, yo, that's crazy. Like I want to make that sound that he's making, scratching or whatever the case may be. And then the one track that really changed it for me, I would say that made me look at the turntable like an instrument, was Gangstar, Who's Gonna Take the Weight. Hearing Primo cut up the sine wave like that and use the turntable as an instrument, I was like, whoa. So then, my first turntable setup was super like ratchet, man. Like I had this beat up Radio Shack mixer that I found in the garage that my dad had. And then I literally, it sounds super cliche to say it, but I went to a like 2 yard sales and got 2 record players. Like they weren't even actual turntables, they're record players.
Yeah, it's like belt drive.
Yeah, like super, like they were like $5 a piece. And then my dad gave me this old Technics, but it was a belt drive Technics. And then I went in my mom's a seamstress. She's into sewing, all kind of stuff. So she had felt. So I literally made my own slip mats the first time. I cut out, I traced a record, cut out slip mats, and I was scratching. And I think my dad saw that I was taken to it in this super grassroots way. And so I remember him being like, yo, I'll buy you a 1200. So he bought me a 1200 and I had to buy the other one myself. He's always supported me with this stuff, and my mom too. And shout out to them, because I can literally think back, and I can't think back to a time when they ever told me to turn the music off. They might tell me to turn it down, but they never told me to turn it off.
Amazing.
So it's really cool that I can send my dad tracks and he gets it. You know what I mean? I can send him stuff like, yo, listen to this. I just made this. So I have his MPC. I have his old code. It's called an Akai S950 sampler.
You got the SP.
I got the SP 1200. I got that on my own way back in college, yo.
Yeah.
This is way back before like DAWs were even like a very strong factor in making beats. It was like they were cool, but they weren't really ironed out at the time. So you got hardware.
So you got into the DJing before you got into the production side of things?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I still consider myself a DJ first before a producer. I don't really consider myself a producer. I always joke around and just tell people I get lucky in Ableton some days.
Hey, but you be playing, bro. You got heat.
Thank you, man. I
holding out
appreciate
so
it.
much. Jared has so much music. We need to get
Force
on Jared.
Yeah, I got like wide ranges of stuff
Whoever
too.
is listening, you are gonna bug Jared. As a matter of fact, yo, Jared's a rapper too. Y'all don't even.
Come on. But you know what though? I find that a lot of producers, I know a lot of producers who actually have bars, because you know how things are supposed to sound. So it makes it easier for you to know how to use the voice as an instrument as well. I can't sing or anything, but I know like basic rhyme structure. So yeah, I messed around with that as well. But then I've also been into the electronic thing too, and that started in high school as well. Shout out to, there's 3 brothers that I met in high school. When I first got to high school, I moved out to Corona suburb in the IE, in the Inland Empire. And I was super just hardcore hip hop. You couldn't tell me anything. Like you couldn't tell me anything else. So I met these 2 brothers and a friend of theirs that were ravers, man. But they were also B-boys too.
Yeah.
And they had 1200s, they had records. And I was just like, whoa, these kids this is in high school. And so here I am, like the super, you can't tell me nothing. I'm hip hop, B-boy for life, whatever the case may be. And then they took me to my first rave. This is in the 90s when the flyers, I sound so old right now. The flyers were paper. There was no social media, nothing. And shout out to my pops. My pops would drop us off at these raves because he knew that we could only see certain DJs there. And my dad got it because my dad's a head, so he understands. And I'm 37 and my dad's turning 60 this year. And so he's from that first generation of hip hop, so he gets it. So I went there and fell in love with house music, jungle, drum and bass, all that type of stuff. It was just, it all fit to me. Like, I've never been a person to separate the two. And that leads me to why I kind of fell in love with Soulection, because the first time I went to one of your guys' parties, I was like, wow, they're playing a bunch of different stuff and nobody's tripping. Yeah. And I've always respected that.
Yeah, shout out to the Soulection shows, period. I feel the same way. I always feel that way. all around the world. Like wherever we go, Soulection Show is like where you can just go in with all your selection. Like that's what I do personally.
You can literally go, I mean, you can play reggae, house music, trap, all in the same set, and as long as it's fire, like our fans just go in hard no matter what. Like they're real students of music, and I think that's really important. I feel like a lot of people that are really into music definitely have an interest in many different types.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like literature. You know, some people are into multiple types of literature. Some people, if you're a food connoisseur, you know different types of food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the same way with music.
Oh. Well, let's get back into this house music, and we'll come back and rap in a bit.
Okay,
Thanks for sharing.
I think I'm about to switch up the vibe a little bit too.
Okay,
All
well,
right?
do your thing. Let's get back into the music.
Thank you.
And that, folks, sums up the set. Jared, thank you.
Yo, thank you for having me. I think it's so dope that it's Soulection Show 411 too, because y'all just got the information on some music that I'm very passionate about.
Dope. No, yeah, thank you for that. You took us to a bunch of different places.
Yes.
I was in here dancing.
That's the point.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Good to have you up here.
I really appreciate it.
How you feel? You get all that weight off of you?
Yeah, man. Because
that boy came up in here anxious.
Yeah, well, I ended the school year today. Had to pack up my classroom and stuff like that. And first of all, man, shout out to Joe. I know you out there. He's out of the country right now, but thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. And Andres, I love you like a brother, man, for real.
Yeah,
I appreciate all you guys for giving this old dog a new chance at some stuff. So I appreciate it.
He can learn new tricks.
Yes, and I think that's important. And the whole reason why I think I'm so grounded with, you're one of my best friends, and I've got 10 years on you. But I think I get that from working with students all day that are younger than me. Man, you can always learn something from younger people and old people. So that's why I get so irritated with some old heads who just like don't want to listen to anything that the younger cats can teach, because I've learned so much from you guys.
And I've learned so much from you, which is so dope.
That's how it should be.
Like I had mentioned it earlier, you've literally taught me things about the turntable that I probably would have never known or wouldn't have found out.
And like you can be an old head and be grumpy and then and not teach things, or you can help people out so that they can pass the torch. You know what I mean? So it just makes the whole culture just better, in my opinion.
Before we let you out of here, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
We met in the Soulection crowd. I like to go down in there and meet people. We met there. How does it feel to go from the crowd to the stages to later doing tours with Soulection, conducting the stage? How does that feel?
It's been amazing, because like I said, I started in the crowd just showing support, and then, slowly but surely you guys started just like, yo, come out, here's a ticket, whatever the case may be. And I was still purchasing tickets to support. And then one thing led to another. You guys found out that I do this because I don't tell anybody. Up to this point, I wasn't telling anyone that I did this. This is just something that I did in the bedroom after work. This is my hobby, so this is what I do after work. So to have you guys reach out to me and say, yo, start playing some shows with this, it's been amazing, man. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I know I'm in a very unique spot, and I don't take it lightly. No,
I love how you do the balance. I love how you balance it out too, because teaching is very, very, I feel like teaching is first to you. Teaching is important to you.
It's mentally draining, but I love it because I know I have a spot there, helping the kids out, so that's why I return every day.
So you went from the Soulection crowd to conducting a Soulection stage to later releasing music with Soulection.
Yes.
How does that feel being releasing music now?
Shout out to Lovers Bounce, because it's funny because me, I'm always posting little clips online and then deleting them and stuff. I remember Joe caught one of them. It was like 1 a.m. and he's like, yo, why don't you use this for this compilation, or why don't you do something for a compilation? And that just led to one thing, you know, and one thing led to another, and it's been crazy, bro. Like I really appreciate it because you guys gave me a push to make me realize, like, yo, you can do this if you want to. Because I thought, I'm 37 years old. I already got a job, man. I thought I was washed and
boy
done.
Vintage.
I am washed, but it's all good though. You know, I'm out here washed and clean though.
Nah, man. DOJ. Well,
Uncle Jared.
Yo, Jay, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming up here. Congrats to you for completing another year of school. That's dope. I'm curious to see what shows you'll be doing. I'm sure summer's here, so this frees up your schedule.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna be out around the map. You're gonna be in London with us in July.
Yep. I have to go out there.
And just doing your own shows. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, man, just shout out to you for coming and rocking. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Joe K.
Thank you, Beats One. Thank you, Apple, for having me here. Shout out to Soulection. Joe, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man, so much.
Soulection Radio Show 411. Jared Jackson Takeover, and we out.
Thank you.